Mayor Stoney?
Aye.
Senator Hashmi?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Very well, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. Congratulations, Chet. Thank you for your service. The next item on the agenda is the CVTA Finance Committee update. I'll turn this over to Mr. Carroll.
In the interest of time, I'm going to go through this rather quickly. In the June meeting, the Finance Committee met. We reviewed a draft regional funding deallocation policy. We've had discussion about it, and we've directed the TAC to continue to work and revise that policy and bring something forward back to the Finance Committee for consideration. And basically, what the deallocation policy would be is a process to formally notify localities that a project will be considered by the Finance Committee for deallocation. So we're in that process and we're working on it, and hopefully we'll move that forward in the future. As you saw today, the CVTA Finance Committee also discussed the CVTA bond finance validation and made the recommendation that it go forward to the full committee for a presentation, which you had today. And also in the July meeting, we also talked about, which you had in a presentation today, on the recommendations for the $7.5 million fall line funding, as well as the Wayfair plan. And again, the authority approval of funding for implementation of fall line, like I said, Wayfair, as we did today, which was on our agenda. We're also working on a scope for management and maintenance of the fall line trail. As we know that it goes through 5 different jurisdictions, and Richmond owns their section, and so we have to come up with a plan on, once it's constructed, who actually has the authority to enter into a maintenance plan and how that would work. We're going to work with VDOT on that. Again, our next scheduled meeting is on August the 14th. At that time, to elect a chair and vice chair for the Finance Committee, as well as discuss future interest earnings, review Henrico County's fall line Appendix A, and the hearing and presentation from Matt Harris with Chesterfield County on our recent experience with our bonding utilizing CVTA dollars. And that is my conclusion of the chairman's report.
Very well. Any questions or comments? Very well. We will consider that part of the record. Thank you, Mr. Carroll. We'll now move into our financial activities and investment reports. Director Parsons.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Page 28 of your agenda packet shows March tax activity reported June 30th of 2024. We continue to show consistent income revenues from both sources of sales and use tax and fuels tax. The fuels tax does continue to fluctuate a little bit more than the sales tax does, so we are continuing to monitor that. Lifetime to date, our total transfers to the operating fund, regional fund, and GRTC total 369.6 million. Local distributions are the same. The 50% back out to our member jurisdictions. We look forward to this new fiscal year and continuing to see these numbers at least stay steady and hopefully rise. And we're working closely with our financial advisors and their team to make sure that we're doing everything we need to with our financial activities. Page 29, page 29 shows the June 2024 monthly investment report provided by our fiscal agent in Chesterfield County. We have I say this every month, but we have a great relationship and consistent reinvestment of funds to achieve the highest possible outcomes for the authority. While funds are waiting to be applied to any particular project that has received allocations from CVTA, those funds are reinvested in short-term investments. And as you can see at the bottom of the page, in FY24, those interest earnings have risen to $11.6 million just from reinvestment of the funds for FY24. As Mr. Carroll mentioned, next week's Finance Committee meeting, we are going to be having an informative discussion about possible ways to continue to see those funds be used, possibly be applied to different types of needs for the authority, and look forward to having that conversation with Rebecca Longacre from the Chesterfield Treasurer's Office. Mr. Chair, I don't believe I have any other notes on the financial report.
Very well. We will now move into, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen, I moved my agenda around a little bit.
Can move on to the Executive Director.
Thank you. ED report, thank you.
Yes, sir. Page 31, just a quick notice for everyone that save the date. Hopefully you all received this probably from numerous sources, but the Richmond Regional Transportation Planning Organization and Plan RVA and the CVTA have all been invited for a Port of Virginia facilities tour, both Hampton Roads and Richmond on Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. We, through the generous contribution of our partners at GRTC, we're able to get some buses to make this tour happen. And we're looking forward to a very informative trip. So I think there is, Janice, there is registration required. Is there a deadline for that?
We are still working out some of the final details, such as where we are going to meet to board the buses. Once we have those last few things determined, we'll open a registration, and it will be required that everyone who attends registers because of the security at the port facilities. To eliminate some of that, they have made arrangements for us to tour the 3 Hampton Roads facilities by water on the Victory Rover. And they'll provide us lunch. I believe they're on the boat, and then we will travel back to Richmond and tour the Richmond Marine Terminal.
Great. Thank you. Mr. Chair, I believe that's the extent of my report.
Very well. We'll now move into the CVTA Technical Advisory Committee update. Thank you, ma'am.
Let's see, what time is it? Good morning, everyone. Mr. Chair, I am Diana Moore Clark, the CVTA TAC Chair. This will be my last meeting as the CVTA TAC Chair. So all of you will, I know, miss my beautiful face, but I still will be participating as the City of Richmond's Technical Advisory Committee member. So in that, and with the lieu of time, we held a meeting on Monday, July the 8th, 2024, and thank you for the motion on the budgeted fall line trail recommendations. We have a meeting set for this Monday in which we will do the election of our CVTA TAC Chair and Vice Chair. Again, thank you for the wayfinding plan. And we have decided from the TAC end to move the fall line management. We talked about that, the chair and vice chair and the executive director. So we'll be moving more details on that to the fall line working group now that we've kind of given an outline of what some of the scope and needs we think would be informative for this body. I did want to remind everyone, our members, that our Q1, quarter 1 through 4 are due to Chet as soon as possible, as well as you should have already submitted your local allocation plan for 2025. So again, this is telling the authority what you intend to spend the money on. And then lastly, the annual certification needs to be turned in, and that is certifying all of the expenses to date that you've spent for this year. So again, those are our audit requirements, and we do ask that you please get those in if you have not already. With that, our next meeting again is Monday, August the 12th, and I can take any questions.
Ms. Clark, which was the first one? I had local allocation and the annual. What was the first one?
The first one are the quarterly, you're supposed to do quarterly expenditure reports so it would be Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 are due at this time. But all were, Q1 has been due, but just in case, we need all 4 plus the annual certification and then the allocation plan on your intention to spend the funds. And yeah, Austin is really aware of all this.
Anything further? Well, we will miss you. Thank you for not only your participation and partnership. We appreciate your leadership, and it's been valuable to us. So, all the best in your future endeavors.
Mr. Chairman, may I say
Certainly,
just
absolutely.
real quick and say to Dirona, she's been an amazing asset, not just for the city, but also for the region as well. And so knowing that she will not be going far away at all. She'll still be here, and I'm grateful. I think the authority should be grateful that we get to still use her technical experience as part of moving this august body forward. So, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Next to my item on the agenda, number 4 is agency updates. Mr. Parsons will handle Plan RBA and TPO updates.
Yes, sir, thank you. I just turn your attention to page 32 and 33 in the agenda packet. Most of the reports are self-explanatory. I did want to highlight one thing, that the Plan RBA Commission elected the following officers for FY '25. The chair will be Daniel McGraw, vice chair is Jordan Stewart, treasurer is Mr. Atkins, and the secretary is Dr. Newbill. Any other questions on this? I'd be happy to address them, but I think in the interest of time, I'll stop there.
The only comment I'll make is you'll notice that the Smart Scale Localities and Agent Project endorsement for round 6 was approved, as well as round 6 RTPO projects and the TPO update. So with that, we'll go to other business. Just want to make note that the Better Together connector, which is linked in here, information item, but that's a newsletter, so any submissions to that, certainly want to make sure they get in, but it's also a great resource, not only for authority members, commission members, those with TPO, all of those folks, but also great to communicate with your constituency. I will ask now, open the floor, are there any comments from authority members? Hearing none. Ms. Firestone, we're at 10:49. We are adjourned.